Hello everyone, welcome to the Patterns and Change page. It's Friday and let's get started. Today's topic is karma, the gift we give to ourselves. I'm going to take the seesaw apart this time, just as I did in our last Patterns and Change video, telling you that we are going to study what it means. We're going to define karma and what it means. It's, as I told you before, it's like the gases on the surface of the sun. The sun keeps generating gases and burning them off. You keep generating your life throughout your life. Every day of your life you generate, and every night you radiate, you give back, or you absorb energy at night and you radiate it through the day is what I'm really trying to say here. Anyway, we're going to start with our familiar seesaw and then break it down. We have here the Eternal Father and the Eternal Mother seesawing back and forth. The seesaw never stops because they give birth to more fathers and mothers, and they give birth to more fathers and mothers. There's always motion going on. My voice is giving you fathers and mothers, where you carry on in your mind fathers and mothers. Those eternal exchanges between the invisible mother and the visible father carry on eternally. The same goes with God's stillness. God's stillness is eternal. So let's look at what keeps this universe of ours eternal. You've often been told that you live eternally in God's wonderful universe. And here's how you do it. You always have a body, always. Even after this solar system dies away into a black hole, you will still have a body to return with again when the solar system comes back visible again in this area. Let's look at this. We have the center we call the stillness of God. Notice there's a little orange circle right there in the middle. See that orange circle? That orange circle represents a shaft of stillness that goes through the center of every operating system. Every particle is an operating system in the universe. Every atomic particle is moving all the time with a center of stillness. Just like the wheels of your car go around and around and around, they go around a center. And that center is where God is. There is nothing ever splits God's total stillness. You can take the sharpest knife on earth and you cannot cut stillness 1 ounce. Now, you'll notice the little black marks that go around that orange circle. Those metaphorically represent the marks of your karma. Each one is like a thought or an intention or something you've done, bad or good. It's all right there. The whole story of what you are building your next life into is in your karma, your seed pattern. You can change your seed pattern by learning new skills. You can add to it. You can burn off your karma by living through and enduring certain experiences. Now you'll notice a vertical line going up above this. That shows that the karma is constantly giving out. The karma is never selfish itself. It always has to give out, even if it gives out a mark of a selfish person. If you have a lot of selfish thoughts, those thoughts will be marked in your karma and will be given out as the thinking nature of you. That is what happens. You are always reflecting the nature of your thinking. Your nature of thinking comes from your karma, and you can change it because you are in control of it. You're not like a tomato seed, which must express its karma automatically. It has no free will to give out. You have plenty of free will because you are centered as one with the Creator. The Creator and you can commune. Humans are the only ones that can do this. Now, I've had people disagree with that. They said, no, there's other creatures in the universe that can know creativity. No, they can't. Have you ever seen a butterfly apply for a patent for an invention? Have you ever seen a monkey or a baboon ever write a beautiful, out-of-this-world poem? Have you ever seen an eagle paint a beautiful picture? Of course not. These creatures aid mankind, but they are not at all like mankind. You and I cannot fly 3,000 feet above the earth and see a mouse fluttering around in the straw down there, but there's a lot of birds that could. We each have things marked in our karma that makes us what we are, whether it's a maple tree or a sprig of grass or a flower or a human being. This is why I say the karma pattern in the center is what keeps us from evolving. We say that evolution is how we came about. No, it is not. Evolution does not account for the karmatic pattern that is in the soul. That pattern unfolds. It unfolds the nature of what is on that pattern, whether it's a tomato, a popcorn, a human being, no matter what it is, a piece of mineral. It must have a karmatic pattern around it. That's because every bit of motion develops a new karma for that centering seed. Now, if I were to go out here and take a seed from one of my maple trees, I live down here where it's mild weather, not real cold winds. Therefore, the maple tree down here has much thinner bark than it does way up north. Way up north, the wind is cold and the winters are hard and wind blows hard. If I were to take that seed and plant it up north, providing it survives the cold winds and weather, it would begin to change its seed because its environment changed, and it would begin to change its karma, which is around its centering shaft of stillness, and that would change the bark to be more thick and change the limbs to be much stronger than they are in these maple trees down south. Likewise, if I took a seed from the strong, thick-barked maple trees of up north and planted them down here, in a few generations, they would start to thin down their bark. The environment, the thinking environment that your family is raised up in, also has a great deal to do with your family environment. This is why relationships should always be centered by love, yea, one another, as you love your very self. And that karma is the very pattern that must be controlled and created. It must be a concern of every human being. Before you do or think, you must be centered by the spirit of self. And that spirit of self will help balance your life and guide you to create better karma in future lives, as well as in this life. This life is temporary. It'll come and go, and you won't remember it in your next life, unless it is marked, the memory of this life is marked in your soul. That's where we come about with geniuses, and some geniuses can do the things they did in a past life. We'll talk about that more later. Right now, have a beautiful, wonderful, ecstatic day. Comment on my videos. Tell me how I'm doing. Ask me questions. I'll be glad to answer. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.